In this video, we shall explore the full meaning of the term, the prophet of God. At this stage, we have outgrown the wheel of life. Because of this, we can represent God as a teacher on the zodiac wheel, the wheel of life, for we are now priests of God in all fields, ranging from engineering to administration, religion, and so forth. From now onward we are priests of God in all fields, and God sends us on missions all over the world from one region to the other based on His needs. Watch this video for more interesting insights on the development of humans to perfection and then to the status of angels and immortality. Check the links below for study materials, ebooks from Lulu, and Kindles from Amazon. Let's begin. The coming prophet or prophetess of God. We have now come to the second stage of the human development scale of God. This is the prophets and prophetess division. God promotes or upgrades a person, male or female, who has outgrown the wheel of life, to the status of a prophet or prophetess if he or she has been examined to be blameless before the throne of God like Nathaniel. From now onward, the duties and development of the individual is scripted on his or her missions on earth or wherever God sends him or her. The coming or prophet of God, black seed, Nigella sativa, is also known by various names depending on his or her area of deployment. 1. As a spokesman or woman for God. Examples: Moses, Jeremiah, Isaiah. 2. As a leader and judge. Examples are Deborah, Moses, King David, and King Cyrus. 3. To demonstrate a divine principle of provision. Example: Deborah. 4. As a shepherd. Example: King Cyrus. Isaiah 44:24. Thus saith the Lord, thy Redeemer, and he that formed thee from the womb, I am the Lord that maketh all things, that stretcheth forth the heavens alone, that spreadeth abroad the earth by myself. 25. That frustrateth the tokens of the liars, and maketh diviners mad, that turneth wise men backward, and maketh their knowledge foolish. 27. That saith to the deep, be dry, and I will dry up thy rivers. 28. That saith of Cyrus, he is my shepherd, and shall perform all my pleasure, even saying to Jerusalem, thou shalt be built, and to the temple, thy foundation shall be laid. 5. As a watchman. Example: Ezekiel. Ezekiel 3:16. And it came to pass at the end of 7 days, that the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel, therefore hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me. 18. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. 19. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. 20. Again, when a righteous man doth turn from his righteousness, and commit iniquity, and I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die, because thou hast not given him warning, he shall die in his sin, and his righteousness which he hath done shall not be remembered, but his blood will I require at thine hand. 21. Nevertheless if thou warn the righteous man, that the righteous sin not, and he doth not sin, he shall surely live, because he is warned, also thou hast delivered thy soul. Therefore, the prophet or prophetess is best viewed as a missionary of God on a particular assignment, usually lasting a lifetime. A prophet or prophetess is a world citizen. It is not true, for example, that a prophet would always repeat his or her incarnation within the same geographical location, race, or tribe. This means, for example, a prophet sent to England for a mission in one lifetime may not always incarnate as a white English male or female based on race. The location of the mission determines the phenotype and DNA, in much the same way that Jesus on a mission to redeem mankind was born a Hebrew. A prophet or prophetess will take up the body, race, and color of the people he or she is incarnated among. This is why racists should not be viewed as highly developed or evolved persons. They are low on the human development scale of God, not conscious of the many miles ahead of them in terms of development. We shall see how God purges racism, egocentricity, and this manner of reasoning in the next level of development, the seed of God, aka the sons and daughters of God, the angels of God. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil, the toolkit of the common, the prophet or prophetess. The prophet or prophetess as a missionary and ambassador of God comes with a toolkit for his or her work. This is wrought of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, the tree which Lucifer seduced Adam and Eve, our common ancestor, to eat prematurely without the prerequisite development on the scale of God. This toolkit is the ability to execute the law of the knowledge of good and evil. God first develops you to graduate from the zodiac wheel, going through all skills in civilization, precept upon precept, and be fully knowledgeable in all his precepts before you become a lawgiver like Hammurabi, King Cyrus, or Moses. Thereafter, he gives you his rod of power, the divine almond rod of God, for your work. Because, after becoming a prophet, it takes a while before becoming eligible for bearing the rod of God. And this comes when we are tested for standardization and certified as a standard prophet of God with the power of God at our disposal. The standard prophet is separated out from the lot with the rod of God. This is what "and the common with a rod" means in the following passage. Isaiah 28:27 For the fitches are not threshed with a threshing instrument, neither is a cartwheel turned about upon the common, but the fitches are beaten out with a staff, and the common with a rod. For example, let us look at how the prophet Jeremiah received the rod of God, the rod of power. God had earlier ordained him as a standard prophet as written in the book of Jeremiah. Note here, how God hastened his receiving the rod of God, the almond rod, the rod of power. Jeremiah 1:4 Then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, 5 Before I formed thee in the belly I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. 6 Then said I, Ah, Lord God! Behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. 7 But the Lord said unto me, Say not, I am a child, for thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee, and whatsoever I command thee thou shalt speak. 8 Be not afraid of their faces, for I am with thee to deliver thee, saith the Lord. 9 Then the Lord put forth his hand, and touched my mouth. And the Lord said unto me, Behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. 10 See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out, and to pull down, and to destroy, and to throw down, to build, and to plant. 11 Moreover the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Jeremiah, what seest thou? And I said, I see a rod of an almond tree. Thus, God hastened the preparation of Jeremiah as a standard prophet, complete with the word and rod of God. Note the use of the rod of God, Jeremiah 1:10. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out, and to pull down, and to destroy, and to throw down, to build, and to plant. This is in accordance with God's use of his rod, the rod of God, the power of God for good or for evil. 2 Samuel 22:1-27 With the pure thou wilt show thyself pure, and with the froward thou wilt show thyself unsavory. 28 And the afflicted people thou wilt save, but thine eyes are upon the haughty, that thou mayest bring them down. Hence a priest, prophet, servant of God or government official, should exercise evil or good for a just or godly cause, based on God's guidelines. This is the basis for examining, distinguishing, beating out, or separating out the standard prophet, the common with a rod of God. In a nutshell, this means rewarding well for good and evil for evil except there are overriding factors or causes. The prophets take the characteristics of God in the use of the rod of God. Isaiah 45:7 I form the light, and create darkness, I make peace, and create evil, I the Lord do all these things. For this reason, the basis of a prophet, advancing forward, to become the corn of wheat or the seed of God is based on the proper use of his ability to exercise, good or evil on behalf of God. This is the reason why God uses prophets as his lawgivers. Moses, King Cyrus, and Hammurabi are examples. Although we may not easily quote the Bible to support Hammurabi's inclusion in this list, but certainly he was a prophet of God. His laws or code of conduct are similar to that of King Cyrus. They both had the same source, the throne of God. It is the case of two officials obtaining the same code of conduct suitable for their times, from the same temple of God. Here is the source of King Cyrus's laws inscribed on the Cyrus cylinder. To open before him the two-leaved gates, and the gates shall not be shut. Ezekiel 41:1 Afterward he brought me to the temple, and measured the posts, 6 cubits broad on the one side, and 6 cubits broad on the other side, which was the breadth of the tabernacle. 24 And the doors had 2 leaves apiece, 2 turning leaves, 2 leaves for the one door, and 2 leaves for the other door. These 2-leaved gates are the doors of the temple of God in heaven, which was opened continuously for King Cyrus for consultation and instruction. Isaiah 45:1 Thus saith the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have holden, to subdue nations before him, and I will loose the loins of kings, to open before him the 2-leaved gates, and the gates shall not be shut. 2. I will go before thee, and make the crooked places straight, I will break in pieces the gates of brass, and cut in sunder the bars of iron. 3 And I will give thee the treasures of darkness, and hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I, the Lord, which call thee by thy name, am the God of Israel. 4 For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect, I have even called thee by thy name, I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. 5 I am the Lord, and there is none else, there is no God beside me, I girded thee, though thou hast not known me. When God has certified the common, the prophet, priest of God with a right use of his power, for good and for evil, he upgrades him or her to the next level as the doctrine of God, the corn of wheat, the untried sons and daughters of God. In the next video, we shall explain why the angels, the sons and daughters of God, are described as the doctrine of God. We also examine why God tests his elect sons and daughters. Why does God still test those he had declared as perfect? Why we should seek perfection as sons and daughters of God. All these and much more in the next video.